Yeah, jeez Louise.
Just in case.
It's back. Can you hear me, everyone? Have you got me? Can you hear sound? I'm so sorry. 8 minutes of nonsense. Hopefully that's working. Ella is on. Ella, say hi.
Hi, it is working. Hello, hello, chat.
Oh, good grief. I'm so sorry, everyone. I have no idea why OBS decided to just randomly change a setting. Why does stuff change? Why? It's so frustrating. Anyway, right. Ella,
Yes.
cheerio.
Goodbye.
Ella is a hero and solves all of everyone's problems. She's a legend. So, goodness knows. I mean, the more these problems happen, the more settings I know what to go in and muck around with. Anyway, oh my goodness me. Right, back to this, because the whole point of this is that I get to say, we get to talk about, you know, I do an intro that's proper. Oh, good grief. So you can all hear me nice and clearly. I think the sound balance is coming through normally. Oh, it's maybe a little bit high. I'm popping. I'm just going to go down minus 0.5 decibels there. Just take the edge off that. So, everyone can hear me now. Thanks. So, here is the map, or rather the map from 3 years ago, because last time we got to 1890 in stream, and basically this map has kind of reached the end of its usefulness. I think it is too busy. And because I chose to do a station and node style, just for the sake of simplicity, I didn't think it would get as busy and complicated as it has, and it has. And it's now basically unreadable. Like, there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make any sense. So, as you've noticed throughout the previous streams, I have been, and I've been hinting at it, I've been creating a new map. And this new map I can now show you, which is this thing. Look at this, it's spaghetti brains. This is... Oh, actually, wait a minute. Let me just do this. It's a bit easier if I do this now. There we go. So going from this to this, this is a map. This is doing the same thing, except that every single line has been modelled. Look at this. So we come to Bradshaw, and you can see we've got Bradshaw Great Northern, Metropolitan Central, South Road Metropolitan. We've got the line ownership of the different lines. We've got some of the disused bit, or the sections of line that have been made out of use. So you can see the old route, the old alignment there. So you can see the straight line of what used to go through. This was quite a bit of work, and it was quite fun. It is a thing of beauty, I agree, Martin. And this is, so you can see the different territories. So you can see, obviously, the Great Western's just got a big old clump down here of all their stuff, you know, the various stations. We've got this Shanklin. I've also started adding, so this map isn't actually finished yet, technically, because I'm also adding line names and the years on which the lines were opened. So there you go, you can see the different lines. And some of those I haven't finished. Some of them are going to involve me going through and like actually going back, not just through streams, but probably through some of the old saves to work out what's where. So you can see down here we've got the old Leighton branch. Oh dear. It's still clearly a work in progress there. Oh, I think I know why that is, actually. Oh, that's fine. I can fix that. I think it's because all the text is still in here. And anyway, yeah, that's fine. In any case, yeah, that's that. So I'm quite pleased with this. This is useful for lots of reasons. One of the main reasons it's useful is because it is easier for me to see where useful connections might be made between different railway lines to allow them to run, allow different services to run. For example, I used this map to see that we needed to put a cord in here and also eventually put a cord in here. So that allows the connection. You know, see, there's a Great Northern connection now in and out of the of Mag Hull, which is a service we're going to add momentarily, by the way. So yeah, we're going to continue adding services. This stream, we're going to be adding services. We're going to be looking at the urban areas because the cities have grown a bit. Oh, music has stopped. No, don't stop. Come back, music. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. It will be available to download. It's not quite yet, but it will be available to download soon in its kind of mostly finished state. You know, I'm just updating kind of these sort of line names now. You see there's an eccentricity over here because this is not owned by anyone, and it's not attached to the main network. I think it's the only bit of railway that's not really attached to anything else. So it's sort of just out on its own and owned by the Halewood Company, whatever that is. There's Kingston. You can see it's the suburban sort of the Midland platforms and then the central platforms. Yeah, it's a thing of beauty. So yes, there's an overlay version. The trouble is the overlay version does not work so well in. Particularly, you go to the Great Western region, and you can see it's not very clear. So I need to put this back to being white, which is how I originally drew it. But that involves having two versions of the truth, which is a pain in the backside, because whenever I update one thing, I have to remember what I've fixed and then update the other thing and then change it to white or vice versa. So that's kind of annoying. So whilst we do have this map, which, by the way, this is a much better quality RGB map. I worked out how to do better screenshots to actually... to get a pretty accurate map, pretty decent quality, accurate map of our archipelago. You can see I've kind of blanked out some of the islands. This is just the shape of the mainland. If I zoom back out again, sorry, this is just the shape of the mainland islands. So you can see the Western Isles are missing, and so's Halewood and all that. But this just gives you an idea of the shape of the island, which is mild chaos. Shows the roads going around as well, which is quite nice. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. The best way to do screenshots is to line up, is to use the camera tool. You can then rotate to be exactly above the map, and when you do that, the sea loses its sheen and it becomes a more flat color, which is quite good. Don't be fooled. That version of when you use the screenshot tool, the fog disappears in the image that you save. So when you click and save the image, you do it very high resolution. You can do it I think it's 8K resolution, which gives you a really nice high quality image. And you can, because they're then you've got to make sure it's orthogonal. So line up to be exactly so move the camera up to the corner to line up with one of the edges of the map. Do a load of do things in rows. So then use Image Composition Editor, Microsoft Image Composition Editor, to stitch row by row, and then afterwards then stitch all the rows together. So you can't do the whole collage in one because ICE gets confused. But if you do say 6 shots by along. Stitch those together, so then you get a series of rows, and then you can stitch those together again in ICE. That's how you do this, and it works pretty well. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, a bit slow, but you get some nice results. So you can see a stitch here where I've put in a new screenshot to see where I've added the new bit of infrastructure has been added. So this is going to continue to be updated. I'm still trying to work out exactly how I want to present this. In terms of if we continue with an annual progression of what's changing year on year, I'm not quite sure. I think we might just have more like a revision, which is a shame because I was enjoying seeing the railway growth over the years, but that growth has sort of slowed down, and it's kind of not as obvious what's going on. Why? I managed to keep pausing the music. Not quite sure why. Anyway, so that is this. That's the fun that we've got here. Yeah, there it is. We are going to go and start off. Well, what did we do last time? Well, we started running fast services. We did a chord or two, didn't we? And now it's time for us to go and play a computer game. So let's do just that. Boom, and then get rid of you and make you appear, and then make you appear. Oh my goodness. ICE seems to no longer be available for download from the Microsoft website. Oh, that's a shame. I don't know why the music keeps pausing. It might be because I keep tapping... Oh, yeah, it is because I keep tapping pause on my mouse. That's why. Oh, this is slow. So I did whiz over everything to speed this up, but it's clearly, decided that wasn't enough, and it slowed right down again. What should we do first? Where should we go first? Well, let's tell you what. Let's get moving first, shall we? Let's head up here. I've collected all sorts of stats for 1890. There's lots of stuff I need to unpick, but frankly, the amount of stat collection I'm needing to do now is getting time-consuming. Got all this. Crikey. So where are people wanting to go? What's F12 doing? Why am I pressing F12, Eurostar Lover 009? Oh, how do you do the screenshots? No, don't do screenshots with F12. Do the screenshots here with this button. And then rotate it round so that you're... Sorry, I'll show you here. Rotate it round so that you're exactly... You see the shine of the water disappears, so I'm exactly vertically above the ground, which is good. And then I want to go up to a corner up here to make sure that I am lined up, which I am not at the moment. So I just want to line myself up with the edge. Oh, there we are. Yeah, so if basically it's always easiest when you go down to a corner. Oh, which we're going to do in a second. Go down over to a corner. Hopefully this is going to be clear. Here's your... There is a low frame rate, don't worry about it. Particularly in this tool, because this tool is quite resource intensive actually, for whatever reason. Probably horribly optimized. I think that's orthogonal. You can check by zooming in a bit and just kind of putting that in the corner and checking there's an equal distance. This is orthogonal. So now I can do is select the maximum resolution up here, and then basically work my way from one side to the other. So go to the other side of the map and just work in rows. Doesn't really matter which side, what you order, but I would start, do it top corner as a bottom corner, and then press this button here. So don't press F12. Press this button here. I don't know. Can you see my cursor? Yeah, you can see my cursor. Press this button on this dialogue here, and that's what gives you the screenshot. And it takes a while because the game is slow, particularly if you've got a massive map. But you can zoom out quite a lot. So I can zoom out to this level, and it still works. It's just a bit harder to see where you're at. But this will create a... Even though the fog is here, that fog doesn't generate in the image, so that works. That'll allow you to create. If you don't want to do loads and loads of really detailed ones, equally if you're really patient and want to do a really high quality one, you can do it really zoomed in. It's just harder to know where you are on that one, to be honest. So I'd recommend like kind of this level of zoom to do it. Anyway, enough of that. Where are we? We're back up at Lowestoft. So Lowestoft, let's get moving again. There we go. Jermaine is asking me what football team I support. I can't be stuffed with football. If I was going to ever support a team, it'd be the Inverurie Locos. Because that's the team I grew up knowing about. And they're like pretty low on the old Highland division. There we go. So, Lowestoft. There's Lowestoft Station. We've got a nice, shiny, streamlined looking... regional passenger train there, actually. I like the look of these trains. They look great, actually, these nice long trains. Really pleased at how they look. So what else is going on? So it's quite a big... Lowestoft's a big industrial town, but the thing they've pioneered is, and we're going to have a look at these, is, yeah, we're not getting a great frame rate. I think it's going to get better. Oh, look at all these people going into the station. That's nice. I wonder if Edwin's here. He's probably dead, isn't he? Our boy Edwin. No football chat in the chat, please. Come on now. We're above this. So there we are. So they've got these little electric trams going around. I don't know how profitable the electric trams are currently in Lowestoft. Let's have a look. Let's do this. Get our lines map up and have a little look at how profitable these are. Not great, to be honest. Why is that, I wonder? It's because maintenance is costing more than they're actually earning in passengers. Why? Well, you know what? Fine. The next thing is are the trams going out far enough to satisfy all of the growth of the city? In the case of Lowestoft, they are. But we're going to go down to the next city. We're going to go down to the biggest city on the map, of course, which is... let's go here. We're going to go down to Bradshaw. We're going to follow... let's just go down here. What is this? 1891. Oh, we got a new motor vehicle, didn't we? Good grief, frame rate. There's a nice express goods train on its way to Bradshaw, I presume, full of brick. Nice. Actually, just going to have a look at this finances. I think... yeah, it's interesting that this isn't making the cash. I think, when it speeds up, I think it'll be better. Yes, Phase 2A did indeed get Royal Assent. It's happening. Now it's just Phase 2B that the government's faffing around with. We have to wait for the integrated rail plan and see what that ends up looking like. Oh yeah, the GCR, those East Coast trains are really popular, by the way. They're rammed. Anyway, let's follow the GNR down here. There we are. There's a nice pointless siding. There we are. Oh, stuff paused. There we are. Why is stuff paused? It's like an awful lot of stuff waiting. Oh, it is just kind of slowly working its way in. That's fine. This junction is stupid. I kind of like it as that. It's going to clearly be a problem that needs to be solved. Yeah, Phase 2B is basically the most important part of High Speed 2, which is obviously the part that the government is talking about curtailing. You know, absolutely stuff the NIC, which is a body, which is just an extension of the Treasury. If ever you're wondering why the NIC puts out stupid reports, it's because they're just there as a group to kind of ostensibly look like they know anything about infrastructure by putting infrastructure people there, but actually they're just a mouthpiece for Treasury who don't want to do anything ever. Anyway, where are we? We're in Rugeley. Here's a nice chord that's here. It's quite a nice little chord here. It's good. Yeah, that's what Phase 2B is, the Eastern Leg. That's what that is. It's also the Manchester bit, but that's definitely happening. There's zero doubt that the Manchester part is happening. It's the Eastern Leg, which is the challenge. Nigel Harris has been calling it HS2 East, which is not a bad way to describe it, actually. We're still in the Great Northern. It's getting pretty congested down here. This is going quite slowly. Oh, is that because it's quite steep? Let me see. Details. Poor. It's because it's full and it's struggling to get up the hill. Look at that. Yeah, it's struggling to get up the hill. Interesting. I wouldn't have thought that would be much of a thing, but yeah, it is. It is. So, what can I take from that? I can take... I take it that we probably need to have more powerful freight locomotives running that service. Let's keep going. We're going down to Bradshaw. You've got a nice view of everything. We just kind of run down here. And as ever, if you want to go and have a look at something... it's February 23rd, that's nice. If you want to go and have a look at something in-game, just let me know. We'll go and have a look at it. If there's some part of the map that you want to go and look at, or some feature that we did that you've maybe saw on a stream that you've been catching up on or something, and you want to see how it's looking now, let's do it. Give me a pointer. We're just kind of marching through the years now. In any case, before we do any of that, what we're doing is coming to Bradshaw because we need to start. So Lowestoft has its electric trams, and they've been a success, and Bradshaw wants in on the action. So what we're going to have to do, we're about to start upgrading our OLE for our tram systems. So this means, well, doing just that, to be honest. Let's go. What's that? Yep, so that's from here, and there we go. Not quite sure why why it goes that way, to be honest. Yeah. So that's going this way, and there. I'm looking forward to one way because this avenue will kind of make more sense at that point. There we go. Let's just get that running up here. Marvelous. There we go. What else? We've got there's a tram line up here, isn't there? So let's get that. Let's get that done too. There we go. Oh, this is super funky music. Very nice. There we are. Just get all these. Let's get all this. There we go. For the sake of turnbacks, I feel like we should kind of... Do we do that? No, it's fine. There we are. So, running this. Bradshaw Shildon. So basically, actually, Cocker Triplets, Andy Arthur on the Twitters is quite good on history of Edinburgh's metropolitan tram network, and it is remarkable how quickly they did the electrification of their tram systems. Like, really rapidly put wires up. It's quite something. So go on Twitter and have a look at some of the tales that he's told about tram electrification in Edinburgh, because it's a good microcosm of sort of what the state of play was across the UK. Trams, at this time, trams started growing up and basically became a real threat to the established railways, particularly in the big built-up areas where they were, in many cases, competing directly with the existing metropolitan railway networks. Yeah, so kind of much like it's happening, potentially going to happen here, although I don't know, we've not really got any actively competing tram versus railway lines here, I don't think. Everything's sort of... This is very much an urban versus a suburban sort of network. Let's see if I've done everything. Do tell me if I miss anything, by the way. Let's see. Yeah, the naming of the actual naming of High Speed 2 is fine. Like, name a shovel a shovel. But the phasing is stupid. Like, the names of the phases is just completely confusing and illogical. I have no idea why they thought that it made sense, and that was the way, a way that people would follow and understand, but it definitely does not at all make any sense. Phase, it would make sense for it to be numbered phases for starters, not introducing 1A and B. It just confuses people. It's all silly politics and empire building, but actually, it would make, people want to get behind a public project, name things sensibly so they get what the hell each thing means. Have I missed any? Is that right? No, I'm not close enough to see now. Let me know if I missed any. Oh yeah, need to connect up our shielding system. God, the trams really do get clogged up there, don't they? I think perhaps we need to sort of maybe split that tram in two, because it just gets stuck on that stupid level crossing. There we go. There we are. What have we missed? Squicklehausen. Marketing for government mega projects is pretty much universally done as poorly as possible. Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? It's like actively a sport to do as poor a job as possible so that there is the maximum public confusion and minimum public buy-in in case it goes to hell. So frustrating. Right, let's put that there. I don't know what that bit is. Let's just get rid of that entirely. Let's do that little end. Of course. Let's actually finish this bit too. Uh-oh. Why not? Why is that decided that it's not possible? You know what that means? I'm going to have to bulldoze this and that person's house. That person's lovely house. Oh, that's because the game automatically drew a bit of road there. That's why. So that's kind of annoying. Let me just draw in a bit of road there. There we go. Let's just make a bit of curve. Oh, that'll do. Oof, doesn't like that, does it? Anyway, where were we? We were upgrading lines to make sure that the trams could run, which I think we've done now. I think that's everything working up to its end. This way. Anything I've missed? Anything obvious I've missed? Squicklehausen says that's why he's working in government transport marketing. Absolutely. There's loads of good stuff transport marketing wise, but in terms of like the public project side, well, that's not, transport people don't really get involved in that side of things. That's kind of half the problem, isn't it? It's mandarins in the UK. Why is that got a load of... No, let's just tramway that, because it doesn't need to be. I think the game sort of generally draws tramways randomly if there's a road connecting with it. It kind of tries to make it up as it's going along. Anyway, the reason I've done that, I think, hopefully, is because we'll be in a position where I can do this. That and that. Let's swap these out with the good stuff. There we are. Oh, there we go. And what have we got? So these are all. What are these? Oh, some of these aren't even painted. Just, what a shambles. Let's get them all painted nice and red. I think now that should mean that all of the trams here are now electric. We've not had any warnings, which means we must have done a good job in electrifying it all properly. Oh, pretty pleased about this. Eddie Owen is asking, is there any chance of a new dedicated high-speed railway being built as part of HS2 to the Scottish Central Belt, a possible link to Boris's Irish Sea Crossing? Well, forget Boris's Irish Sea Crossing for now, but Transport Scotland are planning to join. They are doing physical work, not just in Scotland, actually, but the Scottish Government are planning to, are kind of looking at work all the way up from the connection of HS2 north-facing to actually join up and get journey times to as close to 3 hours as possible. So that design work is ongoing. Yeah. Right, it's August. Oh, it's August 91 already. Crikey, look at that. Let's do a quick vehicle check while we're here, because it's always worth doing. Anything really knackered looking. Oh, there's some bad condition stuff. What's all this? Oh, obviously everything has just gone bad condition all of a sudden, hasn't it? Okay, let's fix these then. Manage vehicle. Oh, actually, there's some new vehicles have appeared, so maybe we can use some of these new vehicles. Right, so... so we've got this thing. 6.5. What's this? The Lander. Motor-driven coach. Ooh. What is it? 1891. Are we going to have a motor-driven coach in Clacton? I don't think we are, to be honest. It's going to continue to be horse-drawn carriage, I think. Right, next. Paint and carriages. Manage vehicles. I think, again, we're going to just... It's going to be horse and carriage. Everything's not all of a sudden going to magically turn modern. These things, though... For whatever reason, Flitwick ended up with a load of quite fancy, snazzy steam vehicles. Well, let's swap them out for this new thing. For some reason, Flitwick... This must be some local entrepreneur who just is a fan of the new kit. But yeah, anyway. Right, Maghull carriages. Let's just put that up here for now, anyway. Yes... Oh no, I'm just doing one, aren't I? Maghull carriages, let's replace with all of you lot. Oh, what did I just do? The steam one. Oh well, stuff it, they've all got steam carriages, never mind. And Wakefield. Let's swap you out. You've got, there we are. Marvellous. They're all set. What else is left? Oh, the Estuary Ferry is, oh, the East carriage. Yeah, okay. That needs updating as well. Just a load of new carriages for them. And a load of new carriages for the Bodmin Ferry. Let's swap them out. Let's give them new carriages. And them as well. This is really exciting stuff, isn't it? This is the stuff you're here for. Stop asking Hyperloop questions, Jermaine. It's not happening. And we're nearly there. Estuary Ferry. Let's swap these out. Yeah. And the last one is Gisborough, the Gisborough Carriage Company. Let's replace all these with let's get another one of these in. Just yeah, try something different. There we go. There's a load of mediocres now that are going to expire imminently. I bet it's like a year away probably. Anyway, that's fine. Oh, paused again. Sorry. So how are we doing? It's 1891. We're going to try and hammer through some years. Basically, we're chasing after the 1900s. Jack Elliott asks, is the intent to get the journey time to 3 hours or sub 3 hours? Sub 3 hours, I think, or 3 hours on the nose is the dream. I'm not quite sure how realistic it is. There are some mountains in the way that make it tricky. But I don't know why. I don't see why we can't, aim big and go for some base tunnels. In any case, Josh likes cola. Idea to improve Hyperloop, remove vacuum tube to make simpler. That's what all of the current Hyperloops are. They aren't. It's no longer vacuum. It's all partial vacuum. So it's just regular maglev with a slight bit of vacuum. Just don't worry about Hyperloop. It's not even worth discussion. It's nonsense. It's nonsense on stilts, literally. Right. Is a Metropolitan Railway expansion planned? Yes, it is. That's a very good point. I mean, in terms of connecting it to other cities, no, there's not really anywhere for it to connect to. However, from Shildon out to Liverpool over here, there's obviously this busy junction. It's not too bad at the moment, actually. It seems to be flowing all right. Let's see. If I whiz along here, I'm dropping a lot of frames. I'm really sorry. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be too much of an issue, but at some point, they're definitely going to want to segregate. But it's not an issue at the moment, I don't think. It's maybe worth having it. Let's whiz up and have a look at the Metropolitan Railway and see how busy all the trains are. Because it'd be quite interesting to see if it's worth us expanding, adding more trains. No, it doesn't seem to be. It's not hugely well loaded, actually. But I'm hoping that we'll see some new... Well, in fact, I know exactly what we're going to see new of. Yeah, I think 1914 is going to be a good year for the Metropolitan Railway. So... no service from Liverpool or London to Ely or Market Harborough. Yes, that's because there's some geography in the way. It's pretty standard to not have kind of loop connections, so it all has to go into the city centre. This is so Market Harborough through to Finsbury. The challenge is that there's a lot of hill and railway in the way, so it's just not practical. So there's no kind of particular demand for it. everything goes into the city centre. And likewise around the coast. It's just a lot of money for not a huge amount of demand. Where there's a lot of demand to go into the centre, but not enough demand to justify a railway kind of connecting these outer spots. So the thing, they don't have to go all the way into Bradshaw. The interchange station is South Road actually, so stuff comes into South Road here. Oh, we're not getting any sound, are we? Oh yeah, that's right, because it gets. Oh, wait a minute. Just check the audio. The audio is. Yeah, I'm not getting any audio, which is a bit of a shame, because, you know, the sounds of Steam are quite nice. That's really annoying. I mean, I could boot it up and I could reboot it. The thing is, it's like 5 minutes of game load for that, so is it worth it? Maybe we'll just make this a short one and we'll have a longer bumper one. We'll bump through some years and sort of see things going on, but it's kind of a shame without the sound. I love the sound. Why is that? I think this game just gets really unhappy when you change sound sources. So I think it's trying to send sound somewhere that it's sound card changed, so it threw a wobbly. Yeah, this game is not hugely stable when things change around it. Anyway, look at this. I still love this bit. This axis. Anyway, right. Tell me where you want to go and have a look. Tell me where you want to go and have a look. Oh, didn't want to go that close in. I like this elevated bit of railway through here. I think it's fantastic. It looks cool. It's really cool. Yeah, we've got freight going around. Ah, that's a good point. How's Bradshaw doing in terms of freight load? It's got a decent amount, but it could do with more spanners. More spanners. So that if it needs more spanners, then that means we need to go and have a look at the Shildon Tools Company. It's just not getting enough wood. Yeah, managed vehicle. How many of these are there? There are 8 of them. Are they all barreling along with wood? Yes. Ish. We kind of need double the number at the... Yeah. Anyway, it's kind of seems to be flowing along. Anyway, it seems to be maxed out on the number of trains, so they're either transporting all the planks or all the lumber. Yeah, this one is on its way back to pick up lumber, I'd imagine. How is this metropolitan terminus not too small? Because it's quite efficiently designed, somehow, by fluke. Stuff comes in, people jump out, and they go in the other direction again. Most people get off at... So in terms of, yeah, there's not too much of a clash. The signal blocks are short along here, so the stuff comes in and then whizzes out again. Yeah, it actually works quite nicely. Terminuses I've set up in this game seem to all work pretty well. Kingston was over our lovely Kingston. Again, Kingston works pretty well. These two leaving simultaneously. And what is that? That's the... Ah, right. We were going to do some new services, weren't we? So, I've paused again so we can have a little think. Oh. Game has done a froz. Sorry, dropping all those frames. We're going to do... I'm going to unpause it again. We're going to get rid of all the clutter first because I can't see a thing. Yeah, switch all you back on. Let's see. So we're going to connect up. Just sort the cache situation out. We're going to try another line. Let me have a think. Yeah, new line. It's going to go from Bradshaw Great Northern. Bradshaw Great Northern, and we're going to go up to... it's going to come into Mag Hull. Now, can I... Now, we had this challenge before, didn't we? Yeah, so I want to come into... the issue I have is that we don't have the connection on this side, so I kind of need to have a junction. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. We'll come back to that line, and we're just going to add a bit of track. So my map's already out of date, but that was inevitable, to be honest. Let's see. Can I just straight line it? Do you think is that actually a straight line? Let's have a look. It's not, is it? It's it kind of continues there. Now, if I... That sort of seems alright, actually. Yeah. Now, why have I done that, you might ask? Well, it's because I think that'll enable me to... Yeah, so it's going to come in this side and then come out and then reconnect. Work its way back at now. It does need to come back the other way as well, so... Bit trickier is coming across, so can I do that this way? Yeah, if I come back... Oh, here we are. Let's see if I can do this. Is this going to work, or is it going to be crazy? Oh, it has to be the other side anyway by that point, so I have to go further. Which is actually alright, because I can go for my 40 again on this side. Now, you might think, what the hell is this mess? And you'd be right. I love it. So what this is, what I've just done is created a connection into a terminal platform over here. We're going to end up having to remodel Mag Hull because this is going to get busy. But what I've done there is allowed a fast connection, a usefully fast connection, which hopefully will make sense shortly when we resume this. Actually, just to double check the site there, the signaling situation there. What have I screwed anything up particularly? Not particularly actually. No, because it's just going to kind of flow through. Yeah, okay. We'll see. I think that's all right because there's sufficient. Okay, any trains on here are going to sit on top of it, but I don't. Yeah, I think we're all right. I think there's enough flow that it shouldn't get clogged up. We'll see. So, let's go down here. We're a long way off any electrification happening, by the way. I see there's some electrification chat going on. That's a long way away. So, where are we? We were down here on this line here, and we're going to add, so Bradshaw Great Northern. Then we're going to go up to Mag Hull. So we've already got this sort of suburban service that goes to Mag Hull. There we are. And then we're going to go from there all the way up to Lowestoft. Or are we going to go Stratford? Oh, we could Stratford it, couldn't we? What do you think? Up to Stratford and then... So up to Stratford and then... No. No, I think we're going to go up to Lowestoft. Yeah. Through Lowestoft. And as ever, I don't want to terminate in Lowestoft because Lowestoft is way too busy. So we're going to come up to Hexham. Yeah. And back. So that was Hexham. Then back through Lowestoft. And then back to Mag Hull. Yeah, there we go. You can see it's doing what I wanted it to. I think that's going to get busy. That's my inkling. And then that's it. Back to Bradshaw Great Northern, I think. So let me have a little think about which platform that ought to be coming out of. Bradshaw Great Northern. Let's put it out at platform 5. There we go. Yeah. It's automatically using the fast lines, which is good, keeping out of the way of all the suburban stuff, so hopefully chance to overtake. I think this might get 4-tracked, you know, the connection between, what was that? That was Rugeley and, not Rugeley, sorry, that was Richmond and Stamford. I think that might end up getting 4-tracked. Then there's this chord. This is obviously pretty busy with a lot of services running on it. We're running out of Mag Hull, and then up to Lowestoft and Hexham. Does it run through Dorchester Junction at the start? It might be worth us... yeah, it does. It's probably worth us Lowestoft, and then Dorchester, then Hexham, then back through Dorchester again. Only because we don't... no, you know what? We don't need to. I think it's okay. Basically, we don't want to have too much conflicting service pattern moves through here, because it's busy and not much going on in terms of free tracks to run things. Let's also have a look at Hexham. Let's see what... oh, it's a freight platform, isn't it? That's why it's not going there. At Hexham, we are going to have... Oh, let's run it in with the other Great Northern Service. So let's put it in platform 4. Yeah. So this was the GNR Bradshaw to Hexham. Actually, let's call it. It's via Maghull. Yes, and it's going to be. Oh, let's do this and this. It's going to be red because it's a GNR service, and we need to put some trains on it. That would be a good idea. The good thing is we can go down to Bradshaw and do that very easily because there's a nice train shed here. We're going to introduce. We're going to have a nice fast service and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Yeah, that'll do us nicely. And we're going to have 2 of them. It's going to be a N.R Express passenger. There we are. And we're going to set these onto our new line. Bradshaw to Hexham via Maghull. Boom. There we are. Oh, what's the chat, everyone? Jack Elliott's reading the NES report on high speed for Scotland, looking at the different routes. Yeah, the 32 billion extra one, which is London to Edinburgh, Glasgow, would be reducing times to 2 hours 30. Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't see why not. Do it. Now's the time. The key thing is to free up capacity for more freight over BTIC. Or you actually build the new line for freight and then you upgrade. But the challenge with doing that is that you the current railway serves all the different places, so you'd be better, even though the freight would struggle. It struggles going over the hill. You're better to do the best to put everything as electric going up the hill, and then you can. ScotRail can actually start running services to Lockerbie. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Given that it's in Scotland, it doesn't have an actual ScotRail service. Boo. Anyway, let's unpause. That train is going to shoot out of there. What have we got going on here? It's pretty busy. Oh, it's so rubbish with that sound. I'm so sorry, folks. It's been a duff stream. This one. It's been a duff stream. Yeah, I mean, nicely, we actually managed to recover watching, and there are 44 people watching this again. But anyway, right, who's on the stream, and who wants to go and watch and look at a thing? Who wants to go and see a thing, or a thing that you don't think is working anymore, or you want to just go and stare at a thing nicely for a while? Tell me now. Look at it's not bad. It's pretty busy. What other services can we run? I wonder. The main thing we're lacking is a Kingston connection onto the Great Northern, and this is something that I definitely popped a power station at Rugeley. Why is there no game audio? Because the game broke itself and didn't like the fact we changed sound card midway through. It got very confused. This made it angry, and so it's not giving us any sound because it's mean. Can we look at the service pattern in Corby? Oh, you want to have a look at Bury and Haverhill? Okay, first of all, let's go and have a look at the service pattern in Corby. There's Corby. Nothing going on in Corby. Just trains mashing through here. Tiny little station. So Corby just has GNR, Bradshaw to Paignton service. Wait, what? Oh yeah, that would make sense. And Midland Railway, Ashbourne Paignton, Kingston Paignton, and Kingston Southport. So it's mostly Midland Railway with a GNR service going through there. Not much going on in Corby. How many people waiting? A few people waiting for the GNR service actually, but yeah. You're hearing back. There isn't any background sound. I promise you that. There's none at all. Freight trench near Shildon. Oh, you don't think you saw that got built? Yeah, let's go and have a look at the freight trench. Yeah, I like the freight trench. That was Gisborough, Market Harbour. Here it is. Yes. Trains coming through here. This is the Penguin Cafe Orchestra style tune, isn't it? So here you go. There's all this timber doing its thing, coming in and out of here. This is mostly a timber line, actually, serving Shildon Tools. It's a very modern looking catenary, isn't it? It's a bit weird. Again, they could have probably aged that. Never mind. And here's this nice train coming through the tunnel now. You should be able to hear the chuff chuff, but there's no chuff chuff, which is a real shame. Any plans to upgrade Corby? None at the moment. It's a Midland Railway station. It's owned by the Midland Railway, and they don't have any cash, so they don't really do much infrastructure upgrading. Oh yeah, there's music in the background. Sorry, yeah, you're right, David. There is music. Barry, remember to at me in if you've got a query, so I can see it. I can see it appear nicely. There's some nice trains. You see how fast the empty and slow the full one is going. I don't think the power thing of these is necessarily too badly balanced. I mean, it makes sense that a train is going to be slower to accelerate when it's full of stuff. That kind of makes some sense. Anyway, that's fun, isn't it? And then you kind of you pop out the tunnel, and then what was that? It was weird, wasn't it? You pop out the tunnel, and then all sorts of chaos happens. Yeah, that's going to pop through here, and then it's going to whiz over the top. Yeah. Whiz over the top of here, and continue to do things. What's this? This is a... Oh, it's a full... Yeah, they are full. The Finsbury line trains are pretty... pretty busy, I think. Yeah, 30, 50, 30, 15. Yeah, I think that's presumably because it's on its way into town. No, it's coming out of town. Look at this little... I'm so annoyed you can't hear the chuff chuff. It's so much fun. I mean, that's dangerous. This person's dress is trapped in the door, presumably. Anyway, there's a train waiting to get into South Road. This station, when it had its upgrade, it's just kind of fine now. Because it's kind of metro style, it basically works. It kind of doesn't need much expansion. This is... We're shipping a lot of bricks that are not finding their way into the rest of the city. Which suggests to me that I need more on the bricks line. How many have I got in 14 of these? This is just the brick. I'm going to add another 4. Let's do it. We need more... Oh, it's a bit weird without the sound. What was it? So that was Haverhill and Bury. We're going to head over there now. So there's Kingston. Kingston growing pretty rapidly. There we are. And off to Bury, which is this way. There's Rugeley. There's the old railway line, the old freight line. There's the original route of the Great Central. Here's Haverhill, or Haverhill, or whatever you want to call it. And this island, they call it Haverhill because majority Scots. There we are. That's a nice passenger train pulled in and loading people on their merry way. Is that the coastal one? What is that? Oh no, it's just one of the stoppers on its way to Shanklin. Let's see. It's a nice... presumably empty. Yeah, just one. I think that's because I haven't got any road freight actually moving the haulage around where it needs to be. How much is this place expanding? Quite. I think Haverhill is now larger than Bury, weirdly. Yeah. That's, what was that, 573, and this is 514, yeah. So these are kind of, this is definitely an urban pairing, these two. Yeah, the trouble is if I restart the game, that's 10 minutes more of dead air. Feel free to put it to the vote if you want me to bring it back to have the sound, but you just have, like, you'd have a lot of me chatting about things aimlessly for a long time. So unless you can think of a nice picture that I can bring up and talk about the permanent wave for 5 minutes while the game loads, yeah, it's your choice in the stream. I can reload the game and it'll have sound, but yeah, hashtag no sound. Yeah, tram connection between the two. Timing electrification would make it work. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. If I did that, I think I'd have it as... Let's have a look. If I did that, I think I'd like do it station to station and then have the kind of the urban connection. Yeah. Let's have a think. What's also interesting, actually, is that the avoiding line is busy. It's full. It's too full. And as a result, it's ending up more clogged than the old route used to be. So it's going to need expanding. I think it might need 4-tracking, actually. Definitely it'll need 4-tracking to this junction. So I think what we might see is let's have a think. Yeah, we might see 4 tracks appearing on this side. And then there being a kind of a fast... You know, there'll be the Hendon lines and then the Shanklin lines coming in. I think that's not just on the cars, which is probably an inevitability to kind of load up. And I also think, yeah, you'll just see some splitting. And yet again, this bridge will get demolished again to widen this to 6 tracks, because Bury is getting busy. Look at this. There's a lot of congestion. Look at this. Uh-oh. That's a problem, isn't it? Could do a random Q&A for 10 minutes. We could do a random Q&A for 10 minutes. As I say, put it to a vote. Does it need 4 tracking, or should the signal box shrink? Should we have a look at the signals? Let's have a look at the signals. Yeah, you're right. The signal blocks are quite large, aren't they? Should we double up on signal blocks? We probably could do that, couldn't we? Let's do just that. Ah. There we are. Let's do that. There we go. That's a half signal block. We'll do that as well, yeah. Half the signal block. Yeah. After another signal block. That's probably enough size. I don't know. Let's do another one there. Yes. Another one here. There we are. Yeah, a bit of a re-signaling job, that's fine. There we are. And another one. Yeah, definitely another one down here. This is quite short. Oh, there. That might help matters a little bit. Oh. Right, cheers, roaming autocrat. Have a good one. Would bringing back the old line into Bury as a bypass beyond the cards. Yeah, that's an interesting thought, isn't it? I wonder. Is that something that might be done as a means of bypassing this junction? Could be, couldn't it? You'd have to have the junction. You'd have to have a flat junction here, which should be doable, and then follow the old route in. Yeah, that could be one of the ways to do it. Yeah. Interestingly, they sold off all the track about a decade ago because there was just to get some extra cash, I think. Hendon also needs expanding, I think. There's an issue with Hendon. Is this going to stop? What is this? Oh, yeah, this is going to stop. No, there it is. It's a bit long. There we are. Are people getting in? No. What is the service? Bradshaw to Hexham. Oh yeah, that's the East Coast service, isn't it? Oh, these trains. What are they? The regional passenger. We need to rename these. This GCR. No, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll leave it for now. Right. When do we get to expand Hendon? I don't know. Probably when it gets more congested, but at the moment it's not really a problem. It's all kind of working. Is there anything in the tunnel? I always find it quite fun when I've gone past here and seen little white dots of trains going through the tunnel. Right. What else are we doing? I'm just whizzing around aimlessly. I'm basically aiming for 1900 because lots of fun stuff happens in 1900. Let's have a quick look at the size of our town. Bradshaw is pretty big. Kingston. Bradshaw's pulling away from Kingston. I'm kind of deliberately not growing much of Kingston, even though it's kind of an awesome town with the coast here. I'm not putting a huge amount of effort into it because I kind of want Bradshaw to grow quicker. Which it isn't so much, actually. Shildon, how are you growing? Pretty well. Shildon's growing at a decent rate, yeah. Oh, that's a what's the growth? Yeah, Bradshaw's growing fast. Maghull's growing pretty quickly. You can see in terms of public transport connections, Maghull's massive. Rugely's decent. Richmond as well. And Ipswich, what? I suppose it's got kind of a crossing of north, south, and other services as well. What are my ideas for connecting Kingston to the GNR? Pretty well advanced, actually. So quite straightforward, actually. There's already an existing freight line here, and which is the kind of the industrial railway connecting the quarries into Richmond, kind of the Midland brickmakers, and essentially the GNR plan to parallel that with a connection onto this line, which is the Kingston to Richmond Railway. I think that's what it's called. I can find out momentarily. In fact, let's zoom in on here and it'll tell me. I'm in. Sorry, I've just dramatically woken up Adobe Acrobat, which has a large image cached within it. There we are. Yeah, the Kingston and Richmond, Kingston to Richmond Railway, built in 1859. There we are. Anyway, their plan is to basically shoot off here, parallel this, and then build a junction here. So that it's kind of quite a straightforward, kind of tangential, quite a straightforward chord connecting these two. And that'll allow them a direct feed into Kingston. They've already got their suburban services running into the suburban platforms of the Midland, so their plan is to just use the Midland platforms and run in that way. That's basically the plan. But at the moment, there doesn't seem to be they're not rushing on that. There's not the demand for the long distance stuff. The Midland have kind of occupied it, and the Great Central have a lot of the market share. They haven't mustered the capital yet to do it. They're thinking about it. Let's see. It's all, this lack of sound is very sad, isn't it? It is very, very sad. I tell you what. You know what? Stuff it. Let's save the game first. What year is this? This is December 1892. 1892. December. We've had 2 years pass in game. We're flying in terms of... it is a beastly game. My computer is beastly, but this game is even more beastly. Like, this game, the save is... It's massive. Wait for it. What's... Right, here we go. I'm doing it. Wait, let me let it save first. I'm going to load this. Everyone's wincing. They're like, no, don't do it in stream. Don't do it in stream. We are going to do it in stream, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Oh, a lot of people suggested tunneling under Bradshaw. Why? To what end? That's a massive capital project to no benefit. There's the different companies. There's no benefit to the different companies of individual companies in sending a tunnel that connects their two stations. You're all thinking 20th century. This is not the 20th century. It's the late 1800s. This is 1892. These companies are still vying for traffic off each other. They want as little running on each other's tracks as possible. Right. Yeah, line up your questions. See, save takes a while as well. It takes a long time. Sorry, folks. Oh, the cache issue will come back. We'll fix the cache issue. We're going to come back to the map and then have a look at the map for 5 minutes, basically. Yeah, I posted a nice winter train pic in the Discord, says Arthur Bomber Harris. Yes. It's God. It's gonna come on, game. Come on, game. This is also why I don't save to like more than... This is why I turned autosave off, by the way, which is admittedly risky for this save file, but it takes too long to autosave every 10 minutes. It just kills time. Oh my God, we can listen to my favourite tune of the SimCity soundtrack. I tell you what, let's while that's saving, let's get this map up already. OBS has gone white. That's always weird. Yeah, everything slows right down. You're probably going to drop a load of frames, and I might even lose some bitrate while the game saves, because it's hogging all of my It's hogging all of my CPU. Oh, OBS. This isn't the time to crash. Come now. Right, here we go. Screen 1. I'm back to screen 1, everyone. Oh, I forgot I was up, and you can see my mug. Forgot about that. Encoding overloaded. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's still saving. So let me go over here. So that is... So you can see where that chord's going to be, right? We zoom in on here. So the chord I just drew, it'll come off here at... there'll be a new junction just here north of Richmond. It'll parallel along here, the other side of the road probably. And then it'll link up to the Kingston to Richmond Railway. Boom. See what I mean about colours not working on the background? It's kind of not ideal. Anyway. So that's what'll happen. That'll be the plan. As an American, do you think it's more important to build high-speed rail to cut into airline traffic, or build regular city service to cut into car journeys? Both. Both. You need both. Yeah, I said the stream would get a bit choppy, folks. It's because of the save. Right. It's there. It's done. I've quit to desktop. I'm going to load the game. Good grief. This is scary. Anyway, right, so what else? So people have got this map. So what else? We've got Gisborough's grown quite a bit. You can see how much Gisborough's grown. with the railway station kind of coming through. So the southern came through. You just have the original kind of branch line that connected it up to the Midland. That's kind of pretty small now. It's nice. I very much enjoyed looking at the shape of the rail map. One thing that people have pointed out actually in the Discord. Hopefully, I'm just checking the stream health. Is this coming through all right? Is it all right? It's a bit choppy because the game is loading and it's hogging all of my resources. Very grand music though. Might the extra chord at Richmond result in a third Richmond station being built? Asks James P. I don't think so. No. It's an interesting question, isn't it? Because you've got yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it'll be exclusively really for expresses coming through. I think there's a back and forth suburban service that already runs between Bradshaw and Kingston that runs via Richmond and Great Northern and Richmond Town. I think will be duplicate. That kind of renders the need for an extra station unnecessary. But never say never. We'll see. So yeah, one of the things that was picked up on the Discord is that when you look at this map, the style of which I used to draw the alignments, so trying to do so realistically with straight lines and curves, and generally working my way through the terrain, contouring as best I can, all these sorts of combined things, means that this map is quite realistic looking. It looks a bit like a map of a railway network that you'd have seen, or in Britain from this period, which is good because that was the whole point. Yeah, the curves, not so many, and it always stands out when you see a compound curve. It looks a bit weird. It's unloaded. Right, here we go. The game, it's time to start. Here we are. Steam. Come on, Steam. Come on, my friend. No, Dropbox. This is not the time for you to pop up. This is it, folks. Oh. My computer is still working itself out. Just give us a second. If Britain was a weird tropical archipelago, yeah, it's true. Let me just... There we go. Right, so the game loads quickly, but... oh yeah, I called that data collection. I didn't actually rename what the thing was doing. Anyway, there we are. Right, so that's now loading. I want Dropbox to chill out and go away. Yeah, thanks, Dropbox, go away. Right, so the game is now loading. Oh, hopefully I'll hear... And it made a noise, by the way. I hope you all heard... You probably all heard the chuff noise as it loads. So, Shanklin... There's the eternal discussion of what the hell is going to happen at Shanklin, given that there are 3 stations taking up quite a lot of land space. But if you go down to Flitwick, it gets even funnier. You remember Flitwick Station? You remember there's the old alignment, and there's the muddy bit where the sea used to be and isn't anymore. Well, here is all of the Flitwick stations. Look at the size. So you got the old freight railway station. It was built in 1852. Kind of fairly soon after that, you had the expansion of the town station, and then much later, in 1872, you had the new station appearing, rendering the old one basically useless, and it's now just a suburban station for the Southern Railway. What a mess! Look at that. I love it. It's such a huge mess of railway lines blitzing through that town. It's great. There we are. Anything you want to see in the map, by the way, and talk about while we're here? Shouldn't Flitwick Town be yellow? Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Well, I think it's still a Great Western station. Like, they haven't sold it. It's still a Great Western station. It's still part of their network. They're just allowing the Southern to run onto it. So no, it's still a Great Western asset. Flitwick is half rail by area. Yeah, it's kind of like York. Remember when I went through the York railway map a while back, and I showed that York was half railway by area. Flitwick's a bit like York, I think, except that it's got it's quite well harbour served. I quite like this as well. Down here, you go to look at the old alignment through Bungay Junction, and you can see the original alignment, and then you can see the new alignment as the junction station was built. Yeah, it's quite nice. I like all this. I do like inspecting it and thinking about the way that alignments developed, and it's much clearer, I think, than the other map. If you ignore the fact this brown is impossible to see, this will be back. I'll convert this back to white again eventually. This brown is impossible to see, but it's a much clearer map than the old one, I think. if not in large form, then certainly when it's zoomed in. There's Stratford Joint Station. Yeah, it's a joint station, as you can tell, because it's got the Great Northern services coming in on one side, and Great Northern paid to expand it, so it got a lot bigger. There's Ipswich, which seems to be expanding quite a lot, presumably because it's got its 2 towns. And what I quite like is that, kind of almost by fluke, it sort of developed this sort of round shape. I don't think it was like that before. It was just sort of a bit of... It wasn't very much there at all, I think. Ah! Can you hear that? I hear roaring trains. The game hasn't loaded yet, but I hear roaring trains, which is a good sign. Oh, we're nearly there, folks. How do you... Oh, here we are. Right. We're there. We're nearly there, folks. We're so close. The game is not quite ready to actually load yet. Wakefield has expanded a huge amount. Look at the size of Wakefield. It's like massive. I think it's because of there's a lot of services that run through there, and the connection up to Haverhill is really popular. Hartlepool is sort of fine. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Oh my goodness. Right, it's time. It is time, folks. It's going to take a bit of time to... It's going to do that thing where it's quite slow and choppy at the start. But... Let me get OBS back. Let's get back to the game. This is going to be choppy, but it's worth it because we'll get where we need to be eventually. We hear trains, which is what we want. Oh, it's choppy. Right, what I'm going to do is zoom out and whiz around a bit. Oh, I'm also going to minimize this so I can see all of you. I'm still here and it's loading. Hello, hello. Oh, this has been such a mess of a stream. I'm so sorry, everyone. It was so good a stream at the start, and now, as this series has gone on, I think it's just because there's less infrastructure to build. Oh, the game is frozen. Don't worry about that. That's fine. It will load back, I hope. If not, then it might be the end of the stream. Because I don't think I want to do that again. It's... The dialogue box saying it's crashed appeared and disappeared, which means that we might have got away with it, or it might be dead. Wait for the program to respond. Yeah, I'm going to wait for a moment. Train sounds have disappeared again. Colton Junction. Yeah, it's a bit Colton Junction-y. This connection between Melksham and Great Northern is... You can't see it because I'm shipping... You've currently got a frozen picture of a train. Oh, maybe I just give up. It's not been a great stream, folks. It's been a disaster of a stream, in fact. It's crashed, folks. It's crashed. Oh man, let's try that again. Oh, also let's get rid of Discord. Discord. There's no time for you to appear. Well. This is the first time in a long time the game has crashed. The game's pretty stable on. This is the first time it's crashed in stream, which is annoying. But it was always going to happen, wasn't it? It was always going to do that. We will try. I'll try again. Keep showing the map. Yeah, I've put the map. Oh, can you see the map? It's back. Yeah, there we are. Oh man. Sorry about that, everyone. This is quite fun up here. So you can see Lowestoft. They've reclaimed a load of land, so they're kind of planning city expansion up here because this used to be a bit of a bay, and they've kind of reclaimed it behind the harbour, and they're kind of planning city expansion here. Presumably, it'll be something like cheap housing for the workers in the expanding industry, I'd imagine. We'll see though. One of the things I've thought about is whether the railway companies would build like a terminal station in here, kind of on the approach to Lowestoft, so kind of come off this line and then build a terminal station at the south of the city. Yeah, I mean, could do, couldn't they? You can see the old siding there. Yeah, this hill used to be a thing, and it's now just been completely bulldozed by development. It was once kind of a nice little parkland, and it ain't anymore. It's been gobbled up. Right, let's try again. Oh, right, I'm back to the map. So I've got it loading on screen. Why is Discord isn't up, but it's sort of... Wait a minute, I'm just going to do that, and then bring that back, and that back, and that back. Now, weirdly, Discord doesn't exist, but it's sort of frozen an image onto my desktop, which is very strange. Maybe that's something that might help if I binned it off. No, it's not. It's not there. Oh, there it is. End Discord. There it's gone. Discord is gone. That's probably not helping because that had gobbled up a load of... That had like gone into a weird like RAM consumption loop that seems to have now resolved itself. Anyway, what else is going on around here? Oh, let's go and have a look at GWR because this is... So, Raleigh Town's quite nice, by the way. The old town station and then the through station from the Great Western. This area is hilarious. I know this is difficult to see, but there's just so much random railway around here. Because it was all built... This is where the railway started up on our little island. And it just... oh, the frame rate's non-existent. Yeah, I'll bet. I'm sorry. So, the railway's built up in a really weird way. And as a result of that, they're just bonkers. There's just chaos everywhere. I know it's really difficult to read because brown on, like, browny green isn't great. Orpington up here has got a bit of a... There's the kind of the station and then there's a freight sidings down here because this feeds... This actually feeds the Hornby Company. There's the... Oh, man, I'm dropping frames too. It's because the game's loading and I'm streaming. I think the game doesn't like loading whilst I'm streaming. Yeah, I know, right. It's not the best. Skockelhausen's loving the PDF. Yeah, Skockelhausen, you are my guide as to whether this content is, like, worthy of continuing to be put out live. I'm going to take your lead on this. Anyway, so, yeah, this is chaos. So you can see bits that grew up, bits that appeared. So there's this, like, you know, so you've got this weird bypass thing here. Right. I can hear trains again. But I'm not going to click into that yet. Is a Eurotunnel style Scotland Northern Ireland tunnel feasible, or would it be used so heavily that it would require 4 tracks? Eddie Owen, all I can do is recommend you to watch the Rail Natter episode where we talk about a fixed connection to the island of Ireland. Go and watch that, because we kind of cover all these questions. Right, I'm not clicking in there yet, because I don't think it's running. I don't think it's stable. Gonna not... Oh. Okay. Right. Okay, so this seems to be running. Let me go here and go to OBS and put the game screen on. Minimize that. And then we're all back. We're back in the game, or are we? I can hear things, I can see trains. Everyone, is this a thing? Is it working? There's a hilariously knick-knacked... I mean, these coaches are 50 years old now. It's time that we change these up, I think. What is this? This is the Kingston to Maghull. Yeah, it's time this got changed up, isn't it? Actually, it's also... Yeah, let's give it this. And boom, and... For 102... Let's... What have we got? What's the capacity of those now? I have no idea. But we're replacing it all, and it's going to be... Yeah, there we are. 88. Boom. Oh, I only did it for 1. Ah. Yeah, there we go, that's better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we are. Better, that's better. We're here, train noise is victory, it has succeeded. How long is the stream? It's an hour and 20. Well, theoretically we've got 40 minutes of doing stuff still to go. Oh, it's February, it's my birthday in 1893 in, now, February the 8th, there we go. That's more like it. There's a nice train running. Oh, goodness, that was stressful, everyone. Good grief. I mean, I know this is not great content, or like it's pretty shonky content to start with, but that was pretty bad. Anyway, right. What was I chatting about? What the hell was going on? Should we go 4-track in the approach to Bury? Because that kind of feels like a necessity right at this point, doesn't it? Yeah, let's do it. So, they're not going to use the old line because they sold the land off, and they're gonna. What instead they're going to do is construct this 4-track. They're going to just build a 4-track railway along here. How are they going to do that? It's a good point. I think they're going to try and... So as is the case for lots of these situations, they're going to try and retain as much structure as possible. So there's our first bit of new track we're laying. Let's see. So there we go. So that is... So to get through that structure, they can do that. Likewise here. So this is the sort of thing that you see them doing. Actually, we can keep running it, actually. So kind of checking whether the structure's still working. Yeah, that's still just about to gauge. I mean, to load and gauge, just about. But then what happens down here? Well, to be fair, not a dissimilar thing actually by the look of it. Sort of goes through there and do the same on the other side. Because the other side hasn't really got up here. I hate it when it does that. It looks awful. So that's worked through this way. Now, how this actually then physically works as we approach Bury is another question, because ideally there'd be two separated tracks on the approach so that you have, but whether that's going to actually work, it might be the case. Probably what will happen is that they would, let me have a think. Well, for now, let's connect up what we know does work physically, which is this stuff. So we can race around here. Move this along here. And there we go. Now, this isn't going to be a flanking slows on fast situation, I don't think. This is going to be a... so it's pretty epic earthworks excavation. Actually, we're not going to do that bit yet, because we haven't worked out quite how this is going to connect. It might be the case that there's kind of a... They do a bit of a reverse curve on the straight to slew those tracks over, and then run on these two. I think that's probably what will end up happening. Yeah. Let me just connect these up. There we go. There we are. So we kind of need to work out how we're going to connect those. Yes, it is infrastructure time. I think... Excuse me. No, firstly, I'm going to check that I'm not getting any reports through here. Let me just go along here. Yeah, it's right. How are we going to do this then? I think what we're going to do, it's blockade time. Which means we need to... well, firstly, you know what the deal is, everyone. You know what the deal is. 18. For ballast. And... there we are. The trouble is now everyone's going to have to go in the Discord and list off the bullet points of what I've been building, so that I know what year to put against all this stuff. Although, to be fair, it's in stream. I've not been building anything off stream now, so it's kind of all there for me to kind of accelerate through and work out what I've been up to. Right, so having done that, we're now going to push this way. Yeah, a little bit of straight, I think. Yeah, let's keep that straight there. Yeah, keep that. Okay, so let's just... that should all be nice and connected up. Yep, lovely. Now, is that too unrealistically shallow? This is... So, doing this sort of thing on the straight, I've done designs... In fact, when I worked on the alignments, the 4 tracking, what was a 3-track Bedford to Kettering, one of the hardest bits of alignment I had to do was the alignment running north through Bedford North Junction, because it's straight as a die, and as a result of that, really hard to... The thing is, it isn't straight, so you've got about 4 miles of straight track that isn't straight. And designing for that's really hard, because if you just shoot a single straight alignment on there, you end up with, 10 metres of slew by the time you're 5 minutes. Slew is when the tracks shift out of the way. And that's really a pain in the backside. So what you have to do is, you kind of create what's called a digital theodolite straight, where you... what I'd do is I'd have surveyed these tracks from here to here. I'd then have that in CAD. I then draw a kind of a nominal straight from one end to the other along there, or I can shoot a bearing off where I'm tying in at one end, but generally you'd end up too far away on that. So generally I just take the track, draw a straight line from one end center line to the other end center line. Then what you do is you take that, stretch it out by a factor of 100 or even 1,000 outwards. So you essentially exaggerate the curvature through that straight, and you end up spotting, by that point you end up spotting where the bearing changes are, because rather than necessarily having proper reverse curve geometry, a reverse curve is where you curve one way, have a reversing point and curve the other way instantaneously. Rather than having an instantaneous reverse curve, you just have, sorry, rather than having a reverse curve, you have an instantaneous change in bearing that's so slight that it's essentially kind of, it might as well be a continuous straight that the train doesn't notice, but actually from a geometry perspective, you have an instantaneous change in geometry, which isn't actually good form. We try and avoid designing anything like that nowadays, but when you've got an existing railway, you find yourself doing it. But actually, what actually ends up happening is that the tamper, when it installs that, will put in a nominal sort of, it'll nominally put in a 30,000 radius, 30,000 meter radius curve or something at that bearing change. But the challenge with a long straight like that is that those bearing changes are so slight that you can't put the curve in, and you end up with such a, it's almost impossible for the tamper to detect that change in bearing. So it can be it's really quite tricky. So you end up almost introducing more of a kink in the straight anyway, it was a nightmare. That's kind of what they're doing here. So if I just do this, it's all quite shallow. I think that is what's going to happen. There we are. I think that's okay. It's a bit of a long kink, but they're doing it. Then we're going to go along here. So that's coming onto that straight. What we need to do now is bulldoze the S&C, because that's now gone. This will now, the thing is, this will now be tighter. What is the current speed through there? I think it's probably quite a nice, it's 50. Oh yeah, so what they might have to do to get that speed through there is, let me just, in order to maintain that speed through there, without building a new structure, that is going to be tricky. You might find yourself coming out and then round. Oh, that's a sod, isn't it? Well, what we can do is try and create the sort of shallowest connection through for starters. So if I come through here like this, it won't let me, of course. Have a think about what that does and whether that's to get. The trouble is that's now stretched too far across, and so there's no space for the other track. Oh, it's even worse. That's very much even worse. So this is tricky. I think what they might have to do is build. Oh, you see what I did there was not flatten this out very nicely. Let me just do this. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit better. Right. Now, I think what I might need to do is... no, not that. Let's shoot some 50 for starters. Oh, 70, okay. There we go. Now, this is... Okay, so what I've done there is create... I've shot a... Is it going to work? So that allows me to get through there. Now, what am I going to do geometry-wise from there? Oh, God. Still pretty... Yeah, so there is no way of... Let me just do the inside curve to see what the inside curve gets me. Let's, tricky one. It's a really tricky one. So that's a kind of a compound of 35 and 45. Might have to go with 35 to get through there without demolishing the bridge. Because that's the sort of thing you do. You're not going to demolish the bridge. You're going to cope with a bit of a sacrifice in operational flexibility. There we go. I think that's the situation, folks. Anyway, now we're going to join into this. There we go. It's it is a compound curve, but it's only double compound. I'm not too worried about it. It's the sort of thing you would end up. Yeah, right. So we've been. This is a good point. We're talking about compound curves. the thing with compound curves is that when you're building a new railway, particularly in the olden days, you just wouldn't have had them. So it looks unrealistic when you start building them. However, as you start doing some of this stuff where you're slewing tracks and things are getting, you're getting to the point where things are, you're doing more complex infrastructure relying on the former alignments and the bad choices of the past, you will find more compound curves happening. So we are going to start seeing more compound curves. That is going to start happening, which is going to be fun. So there we go. There's the former alignment you can see nicely, and then they've had to sort of bodge it to kind of get through there and tie into this point. They could have slewed everything across by a gauge. That might have helped perhaps, but no, they decided not to because of the other portal. Yeah, they could have slewed everything over by a gauge actually. They didn't though, and they're going to be stuck with that poor choice because I like people being stuck with their bad choices. So let's go down here before we re-signal this, which obviously needs to happen. Let's have a little think about what is happening over here. How are we tying into Bury Station? I think for now there's going to be a well, for starters, this needs to be this track needs to. Let's do my. Let me just draw this out. Lovely. And also do this. There we are. Now the game's doing this weird thing where it doesn't. There, it's better. Thank you. Sometimes the tool just doesn't work. I think maybe it's because if you click on a spline perfectly, it doesn't activate the smoothing tool or something. Bit weird. So we're going to push this in this direction a bit. Stars. Yeah, good stuff. Okay. Oh, jeez. Don't worry about that too much. Let's expand this just to there. So these are the fasts. Let's see what we get when we just bring this round. 75, 70. It's not perfect. Bit compoundy, but this is what they're having to do to try. And there we are. So, just running 4 track as far as we can. I think what's going to happen is we're just going to. Do it on the straight, I think. Yeah. Can they 30 it? Yeah, 30. 31, because I think the other's going to be the inside. Yeah, it's the inside. What are we going to... Yeah, okay, these signals have to go. So get rid of those. And that then does this, I think. Oh, God, no, it doesn't, because I stacked it. What I stacked. There we go. Yeah, see, 30 on the inside of the curve. And that is that. That's our connection. I mean, it's still broken. Why is it still broken, actually? Is that because trains are now very much on the wrong track? It is, isn't it? Oh, yeah, that train's going the right. Let's get rid of those signals. A few of these trains are now very much on the wrong track. We won't worry about that too much for now. We're going to go through here. What's the chat? Yeah, all the trains are on the wrong track, don't worry. Does this mean that eventually the approach to Bury will be 2 separate 4-track lines? It might end up that way, yeah. Right, that's that all caught up. There's not much in the way of signal on this side either, is there? Probably worth having another signal block here. While I'm here. Oh, the trouble is there's a flipping level crossing, isn't there? So that makes that a bit trickier. Yeah. Anyway, we'll do that now for now. So, oh, wow, the game's frozen, everyone. Sorry about that. So, let's zoom in here. That's a hilariously far back signal, but that's fine because there's not much choice to do this as well. Oh, maybe that needs to be there. Actually, yeah. Other side of the tunnel. Signal sign and all that. Better understanding of safety. Then another one. Let's pop that here. And this one here. So now we've got two separate railways going in. So we've got railway there and a railway there, and then we've got the two tracks facing the other direction. So that's now... There are going to be complaints about trains going the wrong way. What I'm going to do with these is... Because that is now going the wrong way. Should we just flip them? Yeah, let's just flip them. Stuff it. Shanklin to Mancal Stopper. This one is now very... no, it's fine. Oh no, it's on the wrong... It is on the wrong track. Very much on the wrong track. Let's just introduce a couple of crossovers, actually. A couple of crossovers. And this one, I span it, but you know what? Let's not spin it, because there'll be a lot of unhappy people. What I'm going to do is put this signal... I'm going to put this way, so it's going the right way. There we are. Let's put that crossover over here, actually. Yeah, let's put it somewhere it's on the straight, not a curve. That's better. Right, what else is deeply confused and in the wrong place? This stuff is. So let's do something like this. Oh, actually, you know what I could do? Let's do this. My mouse is hitting up against my keyboard, which is really annoying. And let's double slip these. Double slip. Double slip. That train's now going the direction it wants to go. That one will follow it. And everyone's happy. Everyone is happy. Mr. Signal on the first bridge. Yeah, I kind of got distracted putting his crossovers in. That's going to end up in the right direction. That's already on the right track. Yeah, so we're good. Let's keep signals going. So, we need a signal on this bridge here. Yep, agreed. There's 4. Then we've got 2 there. We're going to add another... let's just add another signal block here, actually. That's kind of fine. Yeah, and... There we go. Now we just need one in the middle here, which we can have. There we are. Yeah. How's that? Very nice. That's coming in that direction. Let's do another one over here. So this is... And likewise. Do we want... Then we kind of want another one. Is that halfway between or is it too close? It's possibly too close, isn't it? Oh no, it's not. It's fine. Let me just spin that there. That's fine. That's where I want it to be. Yeah. There's trains that are going to be confused. What's this one? I think if I do this, if I spin it, is it just going to... Is it not... Is it really going to ignore it? It's because of the signal, isn't it? So I have to do this for now. Yeah, and then I have to do... Let's see why this trains are confused. This one... is that because this one is pointing in the other direction? No, that's fine. Why is that unhappy now? Oh god, what is that? Is that another train in amongst the... Is that 2 trains? Oh. Which direction is that going? Oh, I'll play it a bit and it'll work itself out. Wait a minute, watch this. So this one is decidedly confused. It's still very confused. It doesn't know what it's doing. Oh, I hate it when it does that. This train is decidedly confused. Its next stop is Bury Central. Yeah. Okay, that is its next stop. Oh, I'm just going to have to put one of these in, aren't I? Go over there. Oh, and also I have to do this. Yep, fine. Okay. Now, if I do that, is it confused? Oh, it is. Damn it. Fine. What's the other one that's confused? This one's confused. If I do this, is this going to make it unconfused? Yes, it is. Good. I think we're there. I think that's it. It's signalled up, right? Oh, no, not quite. It's just with signals up here. What's the chat, everyone? What are you all saying? The signal first bridge, impressively broken. They're all very confused. Yeah, we've sorted it out. They'll get there in the end. Right, let's sort this out. So coming in here, it's going to be able to get really nice and close. That's there. This train's going to come in and want to stop there. That's the approach in that direction. Did I get rid of a crosser? Oh no, there's two signals that were over there. So I'm just going to put a halfway house in there. That's a pair there, and then another pair there. I think that's us. I'm going to get rid of all the messed up signals in a second. Wait a minute. Good. That's pulling in that direction. If I do this now, is it going to be broken? Good, that's fine. And also get rid of this crossover. We never wanted that there in the first place. Are these now, if I now change this, is that going to be happy? That's fine. I think we're there. I think we fixed it all. This also, you can do that. There, good. So if I look at this now, that should be, there, 4 tracks and double the signal blocks, double the capacity into the approaches. It'll still be gnarly. Michael's Hackney carriage would like to expand. We're in Hendon. Yeah, Hendon's pretty big and doesn't have any form of connecting service in it. Yeah, nothing. Oh no, that's not true. There's the whatever this is. What is it? Oh yeah, there are Hendon carriages. There are carriages in Hendon. It's fine. I think it's the former the carriages that used to run down to the ferry. The company that ran that, or GCR ran that. And now they just run around the town. William asked a good question about signal sighting. What was the question? With signal sighting, what are some of the rules of thumb with how signals are placed? Oh my god, I have no idea. Well, that's not true, actually. Just stuff not being in the way, things like curvature. For a modern railway, things like if you've got lots of OLE, kind of all in a line, blocking the signals, things like that. Where the sun is, so if you've got low sun commonly, things like that. Those sorts of things. Now, are these trains paused because they want to, or because... No, they're getting on it, they're just lazy. Kind of feel like this needs to be another signal block, actually. Why isn't it? Put that there, and then maybe put that there. Is that a bit too close for the other one? Maybe. Could be a little bit. Let's bring that back by a little bit, and that'll help. There we go. Oh, this is so shifty, this bit. Right, there we go. Sorry, yeah, sorry if I missed questions. If you ask them again, and I'll try and answer. How are we doing? 1 hour 45. I've got 3 baked potatoes. Dean and I have 3 baked potatoes in the oven right now, and I cannot wait. We have coleslaw. We're going to have cheese. We might even put baked beans in there. I'm very excited. So this junction is a horrible mess, and clearly there's a bit of a capacity issue, given that should be the fast lines, and the old route really ought to be deprioritised, but it's a bit tricky because they've also got this very busy freight connection too, so bit of a mixed bag. That, I think, seems to be running better by the look of it. Let me just let's switch some stuff off again as ever. Yeah, that looks to be running a bit better, I think, now ish. If we go in here, right, that was good. Oh my goodness, let's just pause. It's 1893. Let's save, actually, which I know takes a bit of time and crashes and horrible. What was that? Bury for tracking. And it was 1893. Oh, crap. What was the... What was it? It's August. 1893. There we go. Oh, while that happens, the chat. Oh. So... We've just done that bit of construction. Anything else you want to go and see? I can tick. That's another tick. Hooray! Tick. We've got a few bits and pieces. We've got I've got refurbish Shanklin Victoria written here. Yeah. Oh, let's go and have a look at Wooler Junction. Besquicklehausen's suggestion of expanding Wooler Junction. Maybe we're going to go and do that as well. Yeah, we are literally going to do that. So let's trace up to Stratford and then over to Wooler Junction. Here we are. Because it is definitely getting cloggy. So what we want to do is just have a... now let me have a think. Do we want to have a platform? Stuff can wait on here as long as it likes, but stuff that's going to turn off gets in the way. So, Besquicklehausen, if you're still there, what's your suggestion? Do we want to have do we want the third platform to be on this side essentially, so stuff that's going to turn off onto the branch is out of the way of through trains? Is that? Oh no, I mean it'd be on this side. Sorry, I'm getting my sides confused. It'll be on this side. Is that what we want to do? We're thinking shipping is very busy. Yeah, shipping is very busy. There's a lot of shipping on this around these islands. Yeah. Besquicklehausen might have given up because of the states. We might have lost Besquicklehausen. Oh no, there's a bit of delay. Might also be typing. In any case, what are your thoughts? Yes, I think so. Yes. Okay, good. Thanks, Besquicklehausen. It's kind of like a collaboration. I like it. We're gonna. We haven't started the US one. Maybe I don't know. I'd love to do a collaboration with you on this because it's so much fun, and we can really and it'll be low. It's not going to be like another massively complicated thing. It'll just be like this level of interest. I probably won't quite get us into the mapping. Well, maybe I will, but it'll be simpler, so it won't take quite as long. And there are fewer settlements. That could be really fun. And we'll get some old Library of Congress maps up. We're going to do it. It's time. But first I need to bulldoze some roads. So this is our road that used to serve it, and we're gonna... will that make the curve too tight? Ooh, very good question. What is the curvature through here? 30. No, because... I can diverge that a little earlier and split the I can widen the 6 foot a bit earlier and bring it round, so it's fine. It's a good point, but no, we're alright actually. We're alright. I think I'll probably keep that existing track there for now. What might be it now? What runs through here? Oh, nothing does actually. So what we can basically use, I'll use that as a use it as an additional. In fact, let's put that. Oh yeah, it's fine. Doesn't need to be by die. I'll use that as an additional stabling, so make it even better. Right. So let's do this. So that's old lovely station building. It's getting blitzed. We're gonna pop in our. It's just 120 meters. Nothing too grand or crazy. We have to put another platform in this side so we can put the building in though. And what's that's here. Lovely. And yeah, they're going to put a. It's not a. It's quite a well off. The station actually I think does all right for itself. This one. Quite a lot of people change, so it's quite busy. So. Are we going to even maybe put a larger station building there? I think we might, you know. There we are. It's nice, isn't it? So, that's there. We're going to put the road in. There we go. Good. Oh, F. There we go. Very nice, let's do that. And let's do this. There, that'll do. Yeah, very nice. So that is that. I'm just going to smooth the ground around here to make that a bit nicer, and also put in some of this here just to Station Square, and then also just a bit of pavement. Grand, there we go. Just let both diversion lines have their own platforms. No, I'm just going to do this one because I don't think it. I think basically when they come in, it's the blocker. When they're coming off, I don't think it's as much of an issue because they're kind of just going to join the general flow of things. I think because there's stuff that potentially sits here waiting for the other train to come in. So I think basically the issue, because this is a single track section, anything sat here might end up queuing on. So that kind of want that off. Whereas if it's joining these main lines, it's not going to have that issue. It can just flow through immediately. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Cool. That's what I'm thinking is right. That I'm going to do that. It's not nice because it's becoming a bit cluttered, but I like that actually. There we go. That's doing that. Very nice. Actually, need to signalify this while I'm here. No, this side. Oh, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Now, I think if I come in here... Oh, we can ignore the fact that this bridge is like just cranking into gauge horribly there. If I now bring this in here... Oh, very nearly now. Can I do it from this side? I'm just going to link it in. Maybe? Maybe? 30 all the way through. Oh, that. There we go. Keep my gauge clearance. It means that one's now 28, but it's fine. There's some interesting timber interlacing going on there. That works. Happy with that. Let's just... there we go. Let's just expand this out a bit. There we are. Very nice. There. Yeah, there we go. I'm happy with that. Let's pop a signal in so that we hold stuff without it getting in the way. There we are. So that now means that the stuff will come off there. It's actually going to come off that and disappear off in this direction. I don't think there's anything... Yeah, there's nothing using that, so... I'm going to leave the bi-die signal in there because I think that still works. I don't think there's a problem with that. All I need to do now is shift the platform. So... bloody hell. It's quite a lot stopping through here. It's quite a busy station. Did I mean to make the platform start signal one way? I did, yeah. So, oh god, the trouble is I don't know which services are which. Leighton to Stratford. Oh, I just have absolutely no flipping idea. No. Stratford to Hexham. Oh, I'll do it from over here. Let me do this and then do this. And then that'll help. So, 3. Stratford Hexham, Stratford Rallytown, Kingston Froome. So I want 2 to go to 3. 3. Yeah. And then Stratford Rallytown, that also needs to go to 3. Oh, no. Stratford Rallytown, that needs to go to 3. And what's the last one, which was Stratford to Hexham, needs to go to 3. That's it. I think we've abandoned that track now. So they're going to come in here, park up. Good. Happy days. I'm not going to signal that S&C because it doesn't need it. This is essentially a redundant third track now. Grand. I think that's there. I think we're there. That works. Cool. Jermaine, what are you so happy about? There's some James P. Translated trains is... Oh, right. You're getting wound up thinking about the future and what crazy trains... There's not enough steel to build a connecting train line between across the Atlantic, I'm afraid. Much as it'd be a lovely idea. There just isn't enough reinforcement steel to make it concrete, and there's not enough steel to make it all steel. It's just not happening. Better to develop... better to just minimise... either get everyone travelling by nuclear ship or just... electrify flying quicker. We've got 4 minutes. That was good. Let's get stuff moving through here. Wooler Junction. that's like a dump ton of people just got off that train. See, this station I think gets quite well used. Yeah, look, 84, 80. That's pretty good. There we go. Happy with that. Swickelhausen, good shout. Let me just tick that one off. What was that? That was expand Wooler junction to 3 platforms. Tick. Excellent. We're running out of tick things to do now. Actually, it's good stuff. There we are. Wooler. How many of these regional passengers of GWR are needing upgraded to new coaching stock? There's a lot of old knackered coaching stock going around here. What is this? This is Stratford to Southport. It kind of feels like an important... It's yeah, it kind of feels like an important... Let's send that loco into heavy refurb as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we are. That kind of feels like better. Good. Oh, look! I love this. Absolutely, this is really haggard looking mixed traffic. It's kind of looking a bit rusty. There's kind of these box cars mixed in. That vertical alignment is an absolute shit show. Good grief, that's a mess, isn't it? Let's just put it down to subsidence. Yeah, I like the mixed wagons that are going on as well. I quite like that. Some of those are pretty old. Some of these are original wagons from like decades ago. Definitely need some total renewal. Can that third track turn right and go the other way? No. Right. What are we gonna? Right, we've got 2 minutes. There's very little time. We're gonna. Shall I just leave it for a? I'll tell you what. Shall I leave? Given that this has been an absolute mess. Do you want a nice, relaxing, just watch music while trains go past place to end on? And where would you like that place to be? Where should we make it? What's a good spot? Recommendations now. Lowestoft's pretty busy, but we could also look at Bradshaw, I suppose. We could just sit and look at Bradshaw, because we haven't really done that. Let's go down here. I've gone the wrong way. That's Flitwick. That's firmly... you know what? No. Everyone's favourite. Let's watch. Let's set up on just above the bridge here, like the train spotter's view, looking down onto everyone's favourite station, which is Shanklin Great Western. There we are. That's our view. This is where it's going to be. We've got the noise of all the trains going past. Shanklin's definitely going to get its electric trams very soon. This was a dreadful mess, but I mean, we got there. I think that kind of worked out. Let's do another save. No. First of all, that's November. November. Wooler 3 plat. Right, now what's going to happen is we're going to look at lovely Shanklin. Shanklin has a lot of trains coming through it, but I think it's just quite efficient, so people don't hang around in Shanklin very often because there's so many trains that whiz through. I mean, I say that, I'm seeing no trains at this point, but anyway. Let's quickly just pull the stats up. How are we doing charts-wise? General towns. Growth is... We've bumped over the 20,000 mark, so they've now changed the graph so it looks a lot shallower, but yeah, I think generally we're expanding quite nicely. Bit of track expansion, not a huge amount. How much track have we got again? How many kilometres of track? 635 kilometres of track. Not bad at all. Right. Anyway, I'm gonna wave. I'm gonna wave cheerio. I'm gonna go and eat a baked potato with Dina. It's been a pleasure, everyone. Thanks so much for sticking with me. Is there a jam somewhere? You know what, there's a distinct lack of any trains coming from any direction. No, there's just a big pile of trains wait. I mean, yeah. No, I don't know. It's just a weird... The timetable's a mess. That's what the situation is. Where were we? We were here. We had this nice little view here. Let's just set that nice view up again. There we go. We're going to enjoy this view. Trains will appear. I'm going to leave this. This is your relaxing background. Yeah. Cheerio, everyone. You've been great and very, very, very patient given what a mess this stream was. You're all awesome. We'll be back next time. I think only one stream next week because I'm going to do a live stream of NIMBY Rails. We're going to do it. I'm going to do a NIMBY Rails live stream on Monday, I think. So we'll be back for this on Friday. Cheerio, gang. You're ace.